The Colours That Blind, Chapter 2. There is an electric teenage energy that fills the air on the last day of school. Even Mrs. Rodebelt, who usually does a stellar job of hushing students just by the sound of her heels in the corridor, has given up and is now just standing by the pedestrian gate watching all the chit-chatter. Her green pleated skirt dances in the wind the same way her flowy blonde hair does. Her white blouse hangs slightly from the belt where it is tucked in. She now seems to have detained a few boys at the gate, talking on and on about something that evidently bores them. I think she should have joined Parliament instead. She would have loved it there, with all that endless talking. "Isn't that right, Tomsey?" I turn and glance at Musa, who is sitting on a green bench close to me with his arm hanging lazily around some girl from the lower form who is no doubt feeding lies. I raise my chin at him in agreement. Musa is one of my few real friends in the earlier forms. He struggled a little with his maths and geography and chemistry, well, everything really, so the teachers were not always patient with him. Mrs. Nordebelt always used to complain that he was too slow for her A class, but too fast for the B class. It must have been quite an awkward position for Musa to be in. I thought I knew how he felt, so I moved and sat next to him to help him when he got stuck. My eyes wander around the parking lot, looking to see if Saru has parked somewhere, but I can't see her. Saru is at Mkoma's. Well, I don't quite know what she is to him, to be honest. All I know is that she has a kid, Noku, with him, and that we're family. Kids are laughing and chatting. So much excitement for the few days of holidays, because we all know that in a week most of us will be back here, seated behind those wooden desks for holiday school. Nkoma says holiday school became a thing after 2008, when the teachers were striking and every child needed a tutor. That was the year my father disappeared. After everything calmed down, people never figured out what to do with their kids, I suppose. For my class, holiday school isn't exactly compulsory, because I'm in the third form and exams are almost the whole year away. But with midterm exams coming up in a few months, we still need to be ready. Mrs. Nordebelt made it abundantly clear that she will not tolerate anything less than perfection in her chemistry class, because otherwise it will tarnish her perfect record. She said this with a sharp eye on Musa. Two girls from the sixth form passed me by the bench at the pickup point, smiling. "You killed it today in the pool, Morongo," one of them says. A group of boys start chanting, "Morongo, Morongo," as soon as they see me, ruffling my hair and shoving me playfully as they pass. There is a wide grin plastered on my face. The school is a mad scene, with cars constantly riding in, picking up kids and sending them into the holidays. The prefects don't seem to fuss about us walking on the lawn today. It's almost as though the school is a prison and we're all leaving it. Bongani and Liam toss a rugby ball on the other side of the car park. They turn towards me and nod, now walking in my direction. I glance at Musa, who is still preoccupied with the girl, now sitting a little closer to her than before. "Your blood," Bongani says, turning to Liam. "They've been friends for as long as I've known them, probably longer, so they're close enough to call each other blood. Your kind killed it in the pool today, didn't he? He was a beast in there. Did you see how long he was underwater after that dive?" He asks as though I wasn't there. I don't know why people do that. "Flip, boy, you ain't white. What were you doing showing up like that?" Liam laughs. He always makes those rejecting jokes whenever Bongani implies I'm white, but I think he means it. I don't know that it hurts me, because he's right. I'm not white like him. "Look at his white-boned genius self," Bongani says, now turning to me. They both chuckle and fake punch me in the stomach. Laughing with them sickens me, but I join in. The same mistake I've been stuck with since my first day at St. Catherine's High School, when Bongani has said I couldn't be black because my skin was clearly white, almost as though he got to decide. Now that does sting. He reminds me of my Bamkuru and his philosophies about how I look. And although I want nothing to do with Bamkuru ever again, I'm not so dumb as to let Bongani or any of the other kids think that I'm not cool enough to take a stupid nickname. The thing is, St. Catherine's, almost everyone comes from a well-off family. So to stand out, you're either athletic, swagged up, or a school embarrassment. Nobody cares about a kid who gets all the answers right. And that's why swimming is my drug of choice. When I first joined the school, I had never felt so misplaced and lost, which is strange because St Catherine's is quite diverse, with black kids and white kids, a few mixed kids, and even Men Su and Chi Lang, the Chinese students. But I'm the first kid with albinism to have ever come here. Some of the other kids told me that they'd never been that close to someone like me before. It doesn't really surprise me. Back when we used to do things Bamkuru's way, I was at the school for the blind. Almost every student there had albinism, although, admittedly, most of us just had bad eyesight. We could hardly be called blind. I didn't necessarily enjoy being at the school for the blind, but at least there I was just a kid, not too pale to be black or too black to be white. Looks like you might just take a captainship for me, Morongo. My stomach twists as he says it, but I smile. Problem is, everyone at school calls me by that name now, so it's too late to make a fuss. And although every time I hear it my stomach turns, I still pull my lips into a smile. Is that quaking I hear, Bongani? Coach passes by in his St Catherine's tracksuit and cap, smirking. Liam and I hiss behind Bongani, throwing jabs at him to show he's been had. The coach must have overheard our conversation. I grin as I watch the displeasure on Bongani's face. The swimming games today were lit. I'd won 2 of the solo races, leaving Bongani the runner-up at least a good 4 seconds behind, and on top of that, I'd made a beautiful finish for the team relay. The whole school had chanted my name at the end of the event, but only that same name I let Bongani impose upon me. I suppose it's quite exhilarating when people know your name, even if it's not quite your real one. There's always such a fuss when I'm in a tournament in those few moments. Although people are in their own house teams, all of St Catherine's seem to come together, chanting our war cry and cheering as I plough up and down the pool as fast as I possibly can. It's the way of the Blazer, as we all like to say. Although I love the support, like I said, most of the kids don't actually know me. Some of them sort of do, of course, but only from glimpses of the life that I allow them to see on Instagram. But that's the thing. That's why I need swimming. Because it keeps me alive and relevant. It covers my skin, makes me one of them. And those few hours at the swim meets are my most treasured moments. It's always butterflies and racing blood. A feeling I wish I could catch, trap in a bottle and sprinkle in the sky. Tonya, the girl who sits in the corner of the class, walks past me to her father's car, laughing hysterically with her friends. She always wears her wavy hair in a neatly pulled back bun and purses her lips slightly before she smiles. 3 years in the same class, and only this afternoon, after the swimming tournament, did she slide into my Instagram DMs. Fam, you were slaying out there, with a heart-faced emoji. Every afternoon, at 3:20 sharp, Saru's red VW Polo swerves into the car park with Noku tucked into the car seat in the back. She always leans across, opens the door, and allows me to slide into the passenger seat before waving to the prefects on duty and driving off. It's routine, but today she's late. I look nervously at my wristwatch. Musa's mother pulls up and beckons for him to get into the car. He jumps up, pushing the girl under his arm aside. I still get goosebumps every time I see Musa's mother, and not the good kind. Once Musa asked me to his house on Saturday, thinking that he stood a chance with me at FIFA. I remember it clearly. He had the controller in his hand, pressing the green button, any button, spewing pleas for me to take it easy on him. We heard the front door click as it closed. His mother, all merry, almost sang Musa's name on her way to his room. But as soon as she opened the door, her forehead zigzagged in lines and her eyebrows lowered. Her voice quivered as she shouted at Musa, upset that he would bring a stranger into her house. But I was hardly a stranger. She'd met me at least 4 times already. Her rant seemed to be more about Musa for not asking permission to invite me over. I left there as soon as I could, and Musa has never invited me back. His mother lowers the passenger window and stares at us. I rub my arms, even though I have a blazer on. Yo, Tommy boy, I'll check you later, boss. Don't forget, we have team practice on Tuesday. He pounds his fist on mine. Unlike the others, Musa never calls me Morongo, so although he comes up with a few lame nicknames for me every day, I don't mind. His mother ignites the engine again. I wave at her, and she almost smiles at me.